This is KOAA News 5 Special Edition.
Shining a light on the good in our community, people giving of themselves to serve others.
Feel so seen and appreciated, and we just adore him.
Stories of overcoming adversity, people inspiring others with their grit and determination.
And then they use teamwork and coordination that's all kind of preset, as you can't talk to each other once you're under the water.
Celebrating the Southern Colorado spirit and what makes our community so special.
I am currently at 1.1 million followers.
Thanks so much for joining us for this special edition of News 5 Positively Colorado. It's an opportunity to showcase stories about people who are doing good things in our community, helping others and overcoming adversity. People like Air Force veteran Mark Maloney. After becoming paralyzed from the neck down in a biking accident, he fought for 3 years to regain movement. And now he's able to do something he never thought he would again. News 5's Devin Karp shares his story.
It was the kind of thing you dream of, you think of all the time.
Mark Maloney is the type of person you can't help but root for.
My dad is so optimistic and goal-driven, such a good man.
He's exercised his whole life, running the Pikes Peak Marathon and climbing mountains.
I've had an active life, and for me to get anywhere close to that feeling of physical activity, it's really important to me.
In 2019, that active lifestyle came to an end after a biking accident left him paralyzed from the neck down, becoming a quadriplegic.
He had a severe C3 spinal injury, and there was no guarantee that he would walk again.
I remember when it was a big deal just for him to sit up.
For the last 3 years, Mark has been giving his all to getting better, working with the VA, occupational therapists, and caregivers.
As Mark likes to call us, he calls us his life givers.
To do everything he can to walk again.
Today is a celebration. It took a lot of people to get me to where I am today. So I thought this would be an interesting way to thank everyone.
He's going to walk farther than he ever has since the accident, around his old track at the Air Force Academy.
I actually used to just dream of being on this track.
With all of his friends and family by his side, Mark set off to do the unthinkable.
His goal was always to walk again, and possibly with a walker. And at the time it seemed like an impossible goal, but nothing's impossible for my dad.
After 12 minutes and 43 seconds of taking one step at a time, he ended a nightmare that he'd never be the same again.
Those nightmares are gone. Now I just have dreams.
His next dream, competing in the Boulder Marathon.
We're hoping that that's the next big adventure, which is clearly a different experience being there than here. But if anybody can do it, he can.
People of all ages are inspiring our community with their strength in the face of challenges. That includes one teenager who became a viral sensation on TikTok after she transformed her battle with scoliosis into a lesson in perseverance. I sat down with her to talk about how she's using her health challenge as a way to inspire others. 15-year-old Jaye Sanders is making quite a name for herself on TikTok as she documents her journey with scoliosis.
Oh yeah, this one also blew up. Because it was me trying to curl my hair.
Whether she's curling her hair in a traction halo.
Why did you do your hair?
I love doing hair. It's what I want to do when I'm older.
You're good at it, girlfriend.
Dancing with other patients or just herself. Sanders has a following few can say they've reached.
I am currently at 1.1 million followers.
Her most likes, more than 50 million, spinning in traction for the first time. Sanders made the videos as she was getting treated for scoliosis earlier this year at Scottish Rite Children's Hospital in Dallas, Texas.
My friend Jackson, who I was with, I remember seeing him before I went to Texas on TikTok. I saw him on TikTok because I would always look up halo traction because I was scared. I made a TikTok with him, and then that's how I kind of started.
But to take you back to where she started, you have to see how severe her scoliosis was. These x-rays show the before and after. Her spine curved so much it made her stomach smaller, making her full fast.
It was also affecting her eating. It was affecting her stomach. It was affecting her mobility. It was affecting her doing things. Even driving in a car. You know, she couldn't sit for a certain amount of time without being in pain and, you know, constantly saying, my back hurts, my back hurts.
Her back was at an 87% curvature.
She's at a 30% curve. They couldn't get her completely straight.
But to get there, she spent 7 weeks in traction.
It just basically just stretches your spine out before surgery.
That surgery, another challenge. Her mother, Trio, says doctors had to wake her daughter up during surgery to make sure she was not paralyzed.
That was my number one fear. Before they even took her, I just said, please don't paralyze her. That's all I ask. And this is where they started putting the screws, and then it went all the way down, and it goes to about right there.
Now, 2 titanium rods and 24 screws later, Sanders is much better.
It helped me get through to know that I feel better, look better, be taller, look more normal, I guess you could say.
How much taller are you now?
3.5 inches, I think.
3.5 inches taller? Mm-hmm. So you went from what to what?
4'11" to 5'2".
Growth more than just physically, mentally too.
I wanted to show, I don't know, I kind of wanted to show people that even if you have this weird giant thing on, it doesn't really matter. You can still dance, talk, hang out with people. Even if you're living in a hospital, it doesn't change who you are.
An important lesson being quickly spread among her fans.
I think she's going to get a few more fans now. I think so too.
People helping people. It's a cornerstone of our Positively Colorado series. The people of Southern Colorado are known for their generosity, and that means we have a lot of great stories to tell, including this one about how a local church is helping to turn a mundane task into an act of service. It's called Laundry Love, and it allows anyone in need in our community to wash their clothing every Monday morning for free.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this day.
Gratitude and a prayer. It's how Gary Darris starts every Monday morning at Westside Laundry in Colorado Springs.
And we ask that you unite us in this community.
For the last year and a half, his church, St. Michael's Episcopal, has covered the costs for anyone who shows up to do their laundry, no questions asked. It's an idea Darris had after more than 3 decades as a police officer in Colorado Springs.
During the conversations with the homeless, I found out 3 things that they needed. Was, at very minimum, a place to shower, a place to secure their belongings, and a place to do laundry.
Darris and church rector Matt Holcomb knew they could take care of one of those needs. They came across a national nonprofit online called Laundry Love and decided to partner with them to find out how to get it done.
This gives us a chance to actually walk beside our neighbors and see people who often do not want to be seen.
The hardest part? Finding a laundromat that would host them every Monday morning for 3 hours.
We heard no a lot. And this was, Westside Laundry was one of the only places that said, you know what? We'd love to partner with you.
Gary is delightful, and what he puts on is just amazing, and how they choreograph everything, and I mean, they take over, and that's okay with me.
I've been out here for 3 years, and I'm ready to go back inside.
Amy Goldsberry says the program gives her and other homeless people dignity.
Self-worth. It's self-worth, self-respect. You feel better with clean clothes. You feel better with a shower. You feel human. You feel downright human.
And it gives you a chance to want to go out there and try to get a job and feel better about yourself, feel like you have a sufficient well-being.
28-year-old mom of 2, Michaela Parrish, and her husband, who has PTSD and substance abuse issues, have been homeless for 3 years.
We've bounced anywhere from camping, living out of our car. We were at a family shelter for Family Promise, but that one shut down.
Right now, they live in a motel and say every dollar saved makes a big difference.
We go to the laundry a lot, so it saves us at least $8 a week.
But it's more than just saving money. It's giving hope and love to a community struggling to get by.
They make a big difference. This church has made a huge, huge difference to all of us out here who need help. and they overlook anything and everything bad. They're a true church. They're true people. They're true people of God.
A home for children with intellectual and developmental disabilities in Colorado Springs recently got a brand new backyard makeover, all for free. It's making a huge difference for the families they serve. This is one of the group homes the nonprofit Roundup Fellowship owns, taking care of 5 children with disabilities. They applied for a grant to give it a makeover, and more than 40 volunteers from Home Depot stepped up. The CEO of the nonprofit says having this space is great for the kiddos' development.
You know, they love being outside, and they've been outside just kind of making up their own games and their own adventures out here. With a little more structure, having a swing set, having some garden beds to grow some plants, gives them an opportunity to learn how to grow things, how to play together.
The volunteers finished the project in just one day, leaving behind new tools to make sure the backyard stays in good shape. Good things are happening in our schools all the time, and we love to tell those good news stories from the classroom. A music teacher in Colorado Springs is a quarterfinalist for a Grammy Educator Award. He is one of just 2 teachers from the Centennial State to make it this far in the national competition. News 5's Lindsay Jensen spoke with him and a few students about this major recognition.
1, 2, 3. But you look like what you're...
Wes Sparks is a D20 teacher at Eagle View Middle School.
It's exciting. It's different being in the spotlight, but it's nice to be able to share what we do with a broader community and have people recognize how important arts education is.
Because Wes says this class is much more than just music. It's about learning to express emotions.
People don't always know how to just say it, so if you can sing it, then it's easier.
And building confidence.
That they understand something and that they believe in themselves, knowing that they'll be able to take that forwards with them beyond their time with me.
And they say that Wes truly sparks inspiration and a sense of belonging in all his students.
He's been the only teacher that makes me feel like I'm a part of a community and supported.
For him, this recognition is more for the students in school than for himself.
They work really, really hard every day. We're lucky to be at a school that is so focused on the arts and so supportive of students who are in the arts.
Wes is just one of 200 teachers selected from the initial 2,000 nominated nationwide. Now he competes to become one of 15 semifinalists, which will be announced in September. The ultimate 2024 Music Educator Award will be presented in January during Grammy Week in LA.
He's one of the only people that I know that deserves it. So.
He's kind of amazing, so I feel like he would get it.
I'm Lindsay Jensen for News 5.
That sounds great, y'all.
Still to come on this special edition of News 5, building bridges through dance. The special way one deputy is connecting with young people in our community and the impact it's having in their lives. Welcome back to this special edition of News 5, Positively Colorado, highlighting the good things in our community. First responders in Pueblo brought some joy to the classroom for the first day of the school year. Officers and firefighters went to Parkview Elementary for a dance battle. They danced to all the classics like Staying Alive and the Cupid Shuffle. The school, along with emergency crews, did this to help create good relationships between students and first responders.
Kids have a misconception about police officers, firefighters, other things like that. So it's always nice to interact with them on a personal level and in a fun environment like this.
The school could not come up with a winner, so they declared the dance battle a tie. A school resource officer at Lewis Palmer High School in Monument has received a lot of attention for his dance moves. And as you're about to see, it's helping him create relationships that go beyond just a hello in the hallways.
El Paso County Deputy Chad Wheat knows it takes more than a few cool dance moves to connect with students, but so far it's paying off.
7-8. Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Are you sure?
especially with the varsity pom squad at Lewis Palmer High School.
It really shows his true character and what he really does for the school.
He's honestly just one of another friend at school. He makes you feel so seen and appreciated, and we just adore him.
To have an adult that's someone to be trusted, an adult that you feel safe going to, safety doesn't just mean physical protection, it also means emotional protection, and trusting that he could walk in and we could tell him anything that's on our hearts, anything that's heavy for us, to trust that he would be someone who would listen and who would understand and who would see us for where we are at. That is something that is so special and valuable.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Their connections, Wheat says he's been working on since he became the school resource officer at the end of 2020.
By being at all the extracurricular activities, sometimes off duty, supporting all the sports, theater, choir, band, going to construction class. I go into PE class all the time. I go to various other classes. So I'm always just trying to get involved with the students.
Wheat says a few months after he started, he was asked to give a safety talk to the school and had a little fun with it.
I led a roller coaster cheer at that point in time, and the kids, it was one of the most exhilarating times of my career, the support I felt from the student body at that point in time.
His latest ask, to perform with the Pom Squad dance team.
Have you seen that quote that's if you stumble, make it part of the dance? That's exactly what you did.
That's Chad.
Oh yeah. Always laughing.
Were you scared?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was nervous. There's no doubt. There was no doubt. I just didn't want to mess it up because I know they talked a little bit we might want to put this on TikTok. They might share it with their friends. And you know how social media, it takes one video and you're famous.
He may not be famous, but the video has had more than 18,000 likes and nearly 1,000 shares on the Sheriff's Office Facebook page. A big show of support for a deputy trying to find ways to support his students best.
You see him roaming in the halls, he'll say hi to you and he'll give you a fist bump, and it really just makes me feel so happy just seeing him here, and he makes me feel so protected, and he just truly makes everyone's day better.
It's a popular sport being played in a very unusual way. After the break, we're diving below the surface for an in-depth look at underwater hockey. Welcome back to this special edition of News 5 Positively Colorado. Now we want to talk about a young Pueblo golfer who showed off his skills on the national stage. 11-year-old Brady Shaw was one of 2 Coloradans to earn a spot in the National Drive, Chip, and Putt Championship in Augusta, Georgia, home of the Masters. Brady says he fell in love with the game at a young age and says his dad encouraged his passion every step of the way.
My parents bought me this set of Snoopy clubs, the Snoopy plastic clubs, and I just went into my backyard, just hit a ball around, just run to it. When I found out I qualified for nationals, I was just shocked, I was speechless. I was just over there with my mouth open. I was just so happy inside.
His dad says once he saw how much practice Brady was willing to put into perfecting his game, he knew this was something he was really excited about. When you think of Colorado sports or activities, underwater hockey is probably not top of mind. Turns out it's pretty popular in our state, so much so that Colorado hosted one of the nation's premier tournaments. John McMichael has that story.
Underwater hockey? Yeah. Those 2 words aren't a thing I thought I would hear together. What is underwater hockey?
Underwater hockey is a game played on the bottom of a pool.
It's 6-on-6 with players in snorkel gear fighting over a weighted puck with specialized one-handed sticks.
And then they use teamwork and coordination that's all kind of preset because you can't talk to each other once you're under the water.
And that below-the-surface nature of the game also means managing when and where you need to be taking a breath.
When you're playing other sports, you can get yourself into the proper position to receive a pass. Here, you might know where your teammate wants you to be, and you might want to be there for them. But you might be looking down from the surface saying, I'm sorry. That's a very common feeling in underwater hockey.
Almost as common as another feeling.
Do you guys ever have those conversations? You're just oh, I play underwater hockey, and people are like, excuse me?
All the time, yeah. It's always fun to see people's reactions. Some people just
clearly don't believe me at all. Some people are like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, I want to come try it.
And at first glance, given Colorado's outdoor vibe, that incredulity doesn't feel misplaced.
Yeah, definitely not.
But as it turns out, our state, specifically Thornton, is home to the loftily named Battle at Altitude, a national competition going on for nearly 20 years now with teams from all over.
It's very much a serious sport, and so we train, we have our coaches, we're heading down to Australia, Gold Coast, to compete in the World Championships this July. It's a serious sport.
And it's seriously growing. The Denver Area Underwater Hockey Club, where we are now, has actually doubled in size in the past several years, probably in part because of its accessibility.
It's a very inclusive sport. Anyone who's young all the way up to, we have people who are in their 60s who play as well. So people can shine in different aspects, and so I really love how everyone is able to participate.
So if you're looking for something different, maybe you're looking for this.
It's cool to see more people come and try it, and I don't know, I have a lot of fun with it.
In Thornton, John McMichael, News 5.
At News 5, we are committed to covering the positive stories happening in our community. If you know a person or an organization that is working to improve the lives of others, we want to know about it. Send your story ideas to positivelycolorado@koaa.com. Thanks so much for joining us.